It has become a volunteer favorite at Northwest Chapel. Project Angel Tree wrapped up another successful year. Nearly 40 angels and their families joined us, enjoying the decorations, the games, the entertainment, the food, and certainly the fellowship. Now in its nearly 20th year, this annual event serves families of those who are incarcerated and who will not be home for this Christmas. Another prison-related ministry, Aunt Mary's Storybook, also provides comfort for the incarcerated and their families. Project coordinator Cindy Mann shares more.
As a former teacher and an avid reader, I just love books, and reading to children is a passion of mine. So when a friend who's involved in prison ministry told me about a program called Aunt Mary's Storybook, I was eager to become involved. Every month, volunteers visit the Ohio Reformatory for Women, and we record the mothers and the grandmothers as they read books for their children. Last month was my first time interacting with the women, and as I walked in, I saw several tables covered with books and about 30 women choosing books and waiting for the recording sessions to start. The women sign up ahead of time to have this opportunity to read to their children. And each woman was allowed to choose up to 3 books. For the recording, the mother or the grandmother begins with a greeting to the child, often stating why she chose that particular book. Then she reads for about 5 minutes. While she's reading, my job was to run the recorder and to make sure the paperwork was filled out. I signaled when the 5 minutes was over. She would finish the paragraph, and if she had not finished the book, she'd tell the child to finish reading by himself or herself. Each woman ended by telling her child that she loved them. It was very touching to listen to these women read to their child and send a message of love. Several women cried at the end of the recording session. All of the women were grateful. Later, the recordings are burned onto CDs. Volunteers then meet and place the CDs inside the book, and then the books are gift wrapped and mailed to the children. Through the generosity of the people here at Northwest Chapel, more than 65 books have been collected. Thank you. You have provided a blessing to incarcerated women and the children that they love.
Started back in the 80s, our own Bridges International has been connecting with foreign exchange students and in many cases has been paving the way for the gospel connection.
Thank you, Northwest Chapel, for providing these wonderful bags for us to deliver to international students at this time of the year. Many of these students are away from home for the first time, for Christmas. As the month goes on, their dorms become more and more empty as the American students are heading home. And they're left there in the dorm. And so this is a great way to really bless them, let them know people are thinking about them. And there's 2 really main ways that these bags serve as a blessing. One, of course, is the bag itself. When these students see these bags, their faces light up, and the first word out of almost all of their mouths is, "Wow, that's so big. All of that is for me." And some of them say this is the biggest gift they've ever received. And then as they start looking through the bag, their faces just light up. You know, one gal was so thrilled to have an OSU tumbler. She's returning to Korea, and she can take this back as a souvenir. So what a blessing. Another gal just found out at the beginning of December that she's gluten-free. One of the first items she pulled out of the bag, and of course I had no idea, was a box of Kind bars that are gluten-free. And she was so excited that she had something that she could eat. This time of the year, the students have more time to actually sit down and have a conversation. We put a Bible in each one, and as that Bible comes out of the bag, they're like, "Oh, this is the first Bible I've ever read. This is the first Bible I've ever had." And it's such an easy transition to talk about spiritual things with them. And just this week, I had the opportunity to talk to a gal that has come to all of our social events, but none of our Bible studies this fall. And she had said, "I've never heard before." And so I just asked, could I share with you why Jesus came? She said, "Sure." So I was able to use a bilingual 4 spiritual laws and share the whole gospel with her. She was very open and asked great questions, and it's such a great starting point for further questions. So every bag that I've delivered so far has led to some great spiritual conversations. And of course, at the end of the conversation, I pray for them. And one gal said, "I know as I was taking my test, I thought of your prayer and it gave me such peace." And so it's another way that we can bless them. I follow up with the invite to our Christmas party. Of course, that is hosted right here at Northwest Chapel. It'll be next Friday. And as you can see from last year, this is a fun time. Students love coming and gathering. The church provides wonderful food, a great meal, and it's so fun to interact with them. They get to hear again the Christmas story and why Jesus came. So it's a great time and a testimony of how Jesus has changed someone's life. So I'm so grateful for Northwest Chapel. Thank you for all that you do to support this wonderful ministry to international students.
Now in its 14th year, our Give This Christmas Away campaign touched many, many lives with 18 projects. Most will be familiar to you, but some may not. The Salvation Army bell ringers were back out in force this year, this season outside the Walmart in Dublin. And by the end of the evening, they had 2 buckets overflowing with donations. Probably our sweetest project, the Cookie Ministry, delivered dozens of tasty treats for the Angel Tree Project and our own backyard ministry. Many thanks to the 17 volunteers who donated hours of their time at the Mid-Ohio Food Bank, and those who made more than 200 tray favors for our nursing home residents, and those who participated in Operation Christmas Child, which will deliver 78 boxes to children who may have never received a gift or heard the gospel. And Fill a Backpack, a partnership with our own backyard, filled 50 backpacks with essential items needed by the homeless in Columbus. Our annual support to Stowe Mission, an important nonprofit serving to strengthen the community by meeting the physical, emotional, and spiritual needs of their neighbors. And the 13th annual Casey's Toy Drive, which will ultimately donate over 3,500 toys to kids in need. More than 30 Anchor Ministry students partnered with Out of Darkness Again this year, helping to sort, clean, decorate, and minister to the critical organization that helps to bring the love of God to those trapped in the darkness of sex trafficking. Many thanks to those who joined us on the prayer team and participated in Welcome Baby. Plus several new projects like Compassion International, sponsoring hungry children around the world, and Heating Homes in Lebanon, providing financial assistance to those in Lebanon who are unable to afford diesel heat for their homes this winter.